All right, now it is time for math. So today in math, we're going to be making change to $1. So do me a favor, before we start, I want you to go get this paper. Go get your math paper, page 171 and 172. Go get your math paper. Hurry, 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 hurry. All right, so if you look at your math paper, it says make change to $1. Objective says count on from amount tendered to determine the change. Your vocabulary is change. Explore. Count on from the price of an item to make the change. You have 25 cents. The item that you want to buy is 18 cents. So let's count on from 18. So you will go 19, 20, and then instead of adding 5 more pennies, they just add a nickel, which makes it 25 cents. So then it says your change is, I have 5 plus 1, which is 6, and then 6 plus 1, which is 7. So I have the change is 7 cents. So before you start yours, your front and back, I have 3 different ones here for us to try. So with these 3, this will give you a better understanding for what is expected on page 271 and 272. So right now, let's look at your first example. Right now, you have a $1. You have $1. Keep in mind, you only have $1. You only have $1. You want to buy a heart that costs, you might can't see it, but it says that the heart costs 75 cents. So remember that we said that our dollar consists of how many quarters? How many quarters does our dollar consist of? 4. Our dollar consists of 4 quarters. So how many quarters do I need to take from these 4 quarters to buy my heart? Let's count. 25 plus 25 gives me 50. And then 50 plus 25 gives me 75. Great. So how many quarters out of them 4 do I need to buy my heart? You should have said 3. So if I need 3 quarters out of that dollar to buy my heart for 75 cents, how many quarters do I have left? I have 1 quarter left. And how much is a quarter worth? 25 cents. So the change is what? It's 25 cents. Good job. All right, let's look at your next example. Your next example says that you have half a dollar. How much did we say that half a dollar was worth? Half a dollar is worth 50 cents because it is half of a dollar, which is worth $1 or 100 pennies. Nice. So now I have half a dollar or 50 cents in my hand, and I want to buy a pencil that costs 26 cents. So this pencil costs 26 cents, but I have a half a dollar. So now let's count on till we get to our nearest tenth. So right now I have 26. If I add pennies onto it, I'm going from 26, 27. Come on, keep counting. Count with me. 28, 29, 30. So with these pennies, how many pennies do I have? I have 4 pennies, so I'm going to put 4 cents here. And then if I'm at 30 here, but I'm trying to get to 50, which is my half dollar, I'm at 30. 30 plus 10 gives me 40, and then 40 plus 10 gives me 50. So I'm at 50, but how much is 2 dimes worth? 20 cents. Good job. So then right here, you're going to write 20 cents. So if I count on 26 to get to my half a dollar or my 50 cents, I'm going to need how many more cents? What's 20 plus 4? 24 cents is correct. So the change is 24 cents. Nice. Now let's go to our last one. You guys are really catching this. Let's go to our last one. Your last one, you have a dollar again. So for our last one, we have $1. But I want to buy this delicious ice cream. And this delicious ice cream only cost me 96 cents. So with this delicious ice cream only costing me 96 cents, and keep in mind that I have $1, it's time for me to count on. So let's count on. I'm going to add 1 penny to 96. That gives me 97, 98, 99, $1 or 100. So how many pennies did I need to get to my dollar? 4. 4 is correct. So 4 pennies equals 4 cents. 4 cents. So I'm going to write the number 4 in my cent time. So the change is what? How many cents did I need to count up to get to $1? 4 cents. So that's all you're doing on page 271 and 272. All you're doing is looking at what you have, what you want to buy, and then how much will you have left over. So again, on page 271 and 272, you're looking at what you have, what you want to buy, and then how much will you have left over or counting on. So remember that if I have $1 and I want to buy a heart for 75 cents, I can buy that heart and still have 25 cents left. Or if I have a $50 and I want to buy a pencil for 26 cents, I can buy that pencil and still have 24 cents left. Lastly, if I had $1 and I wanted to buy a delicious ice cream for 96 cents, I can buy that ice cream and still have 4 cents left. So now let's look at your paper. We're going to do number 1 together on page 271, and then we're going to do number 1 together on page 272. All right, so first, let's look at number 1 on page 271. The direction says connect. Use coins, count on from the price to make the change. So you have, how much do you have? You have $1. You want to buy, what do you buy? It looks like a little top. So how much is the top? The top is 94 cents. So I have $1 and the top is 94 cents. Am I able to buy this top? I am able to buy this top. Great. So now that I know that I'm able to buy this top, how much money would I have left over? Well, let's count. I have a penny. A penny is always worth 1 cent. So right below the penny, I want you to write 1 cent. I'm sorry, below the penny, I want you to write 95 cents. Sorry. Below the penny, I want you to write 95 cents. And then if I add this little coin here, which is called a nickel is worth 5 cents. Good job. So if I add a 5 cent to 95, that gives me $1. So right here, under the 5 cent, you're going to write $1. Directly under the 5 cent, you're going to write $1. And then it says the change is. So how much is 5 plus 1? 6. So right where it says the change is, you have to write the number 6 and the cent sign. Again, it says count on. So I'm at 94. If I add a penny, I'm going to be at 95. And then if I add a nickel, which is worth 5 cents, I'm going to be at $1. So my change is 6 cents. All right, let's do number 2 just in case we didn't make any sense of that. Let's do number 2. Number 2 says I have 2 quarters, and both quarters are worth 25 cents. So 25 plus 25 gives me 50 cents. Good job. So another word for 2 quarters would be what? $50. Nice. So below the 2 quarters, you're going to write 50 cents on the line. So now with my 50 cents, I want to buy, that looks like a stamp of some sort. So I want to buy this stamp. And how much is this stamp worth? This stamp is worth 39 cents. So now I know that I'm able to buy it. But since I know there's 39 cents, let's count on until I reach the entire 50 cents. So 39 plus 1 penny is worth 40. So right below the 1 penny, you're going to write 40 cents. And then what is the name of this coin? That is called a dime. And how much is a dime worth? A dime is worth 10 cents. So if I have 40 cents, what is 40 plus 10? 50. So right below the dime, you're going to write 50 cents. And then it says the change is, so what is 10 plus 1? 11. So right on the line, you should be writing 11 cents. So remember, I have 50 cents. My stamp costs 39 cents. Counting on, adding 1 penny, that gives me 40 cents. And then adding another 10 cents gives me 50 cents. So all I had left was 11 cents. All right, flip it over. Let's do number 1 together. Practice. It says use coins. Count on from the price to make the change. You have, how much did we say 3/4 are worth again? I forgot. 75 cents. 75 cents is correct. So right now I have 75 cents. I am buying this orange juice for how much? I'm buying this orange juice for 63 cents. So now I'm going to count on. So if I add 1 penny to 63, I have 64 cents. So right below that first penny, you're going to write 64 cents. All right, and now I'm going to add another penny to my 64 cents, which gives me 65 cents. So right below the second penny, you're going to write 65 cents. And then what did we say that this coin was worth again? 10 cents. Great job. So if I add 10 cents to 65 cents, so that's 65 plus 10 gives me... It gives me 75. Good job. So right below the 10 cents, you're going to write 75 cents. So again, below the 3/4, I'm writing 75 cents. I want to buy this orange juice for 63 cents. And now it's time for me to count on. So 63 plus 1 is going to give me 64. So right below the first penny, you should have wrote 64 cents. And then if I add another penny to my 64 cents, it gives me 65 cents. So right below the second penny, you should have wrote 65 cents. And then if I add this dime to 65 cents, it gives me 75 cents. So right below the dime, you should have wrote 75 cents. Now let's see how much change you have. So the change is, what is 10 plus 2? The change is 12 cents. So where it says the change is on that line, you have to write 12 cents. All right, now all you have to do is complete numbers 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll be done for math. And then I'll see you in Bible.